Let's get it. Shake it like understand who I is. Not that many gon' do it like this. Bob your head, we can hit my shit, but I'm on my shit. I ain't has no chill.
For those of you who are in Tennessee, guess what? House Bill 2689 is getting ready to pass. That is requiring paternity tests before you sign the birth certificate. Because, you know, when people do paternity tests, 1/3 of the time, they end up not being the father. And if they start testing everybody, that number can only go up, not down. It's going to be dramatic. And right now, they're starting to also add in things like, you know, maternity fraud is a crime, a punishable crime. So guys used to go to jail for not paying child support on a child that wasn't theirs because the state wants to get their money, because if there is no father to pay for the child support, somebody has to pay for it. So they push it onto the nearest person that could be a father figure. And they're actually starting to jail time the ladies for maternity fraud because it is such a rampant crime.
Say what? I don't agree with a lot that they do in politics, but I agree with this one. The hustle is over. The scams are done in the state of Tennessee. And I know some of y'all feel like, well, why should we have to do all of this? They should trust me, because y'all be lying. The women be lying. And if you know that this is his baby without a shadow of a doubt, husband, boyfriend, baby daddy, it don't matter who it is. Let them go on and get that paternity test, sis. If you on the up and up, it shouldn't bother you. And for all of those women out there faking pregnancy to scam men, ooh, y'all big mad now, ain't you?
Not small mad, big mad.
42%. Wow.
Yeah. 1.57 billion men. So I had to cut the sound of this one. So.
Okay.
But we have captions. We got captions, though.
Y'all read the captions. All right. Look at this dude's face. You can tell he is heartbroken.
Yeah, I feel
that was a man that looked like he cared.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, Cassidy Ray. I do understand that if this bill is passed in all the states, basically saying that in order for a father to sign the birth certificate of his child or his supposed child, that he has to take a DNA test to make sure that that is that child. You're saying that couples shouldn't be forced to do it, just like right now in Tennessee, that's what they're doing. I think differently, and the main reason why I think differently is because there have been so many times where women have lied, and they've said that this man is this child's father.
Say
and this
what?
man will go on to love and raise this child or pay child support. And it turns out later on that it was a lie, that the child was never the man's. And to me, that does so much damage, not only to the child, but also the man as well too. Not all women are going to be honest about it. And it also doesn't matter if you're married as well too, because there's been so many times where women have cheated on their husbands and got pregnant.
That's what I said earlier.
So I do think that honestly, it should be passed nationwide. And even if you feel like it's going to create, tension or mistrust in the relationship, but why should it? If you guys are faithful to each other, then why should it be a big issue that the man has to take a test to make sure that it's his child, so that way it doesn't create issues later on down the road? That's just how I feel about it.
Yep.
What can I do if the mother of my child won't let me see the child or is restricting access?
Pause. You should establish paternity, which if you were to be required to do mandatory DNA testing at the beginning, this is a step that's already done, okay? And then B, take that person to court, he or she, whichever person is restricting access to your kid, because as the parental person, you do have parental rights, okay? But you should be afforded the opportunity to see your child unless those rights are denied if you are the one that's established to be the mother or the father.
Yeah, he's right.
Let's see if I'm wrong.
Hi, I'm Sharon, and I'm a lawyer in Middle Tennessee who provides help for child custody matters. So in the state of Tennessee, if the parties are unmarried, the mother is presumed to have custody of the child. And that means she can make the decisions about when the child sees the dad without any input from him. In order to change that presumption
Wow.
that mom has custody,
Wow.
dad needs to establish himself as the father of the child through a paternity test. If he doesn't do this, he's considered a legal stranger to the child. Establishing paternity can be done in a couple different ways. One way is signing a VAP, Voluntary Acknowledgement of Paternity. It's sometimes done at the hospital, but it doesn't have to be. You can go to the Vital Records office, but both mom and dad have to go, and they have to sign under oath that he is the father. This creates a legally binding obligation to the dad that he is the father, and it could require him to pay child support in the future if it's ever filed in court for child support. I would only recommend doing that if you are 100% sure that you are the father, because there's no DNA test. You just have to sign that, yeah, I'm the dad, which could make you responsible for a child that is not yours. So if you want to get a DNA test, then you would want to go down to the child support office of your jurisdiction and ask for a DNA test for this child. Once you do that, it opens a child support case. So there is potential that you would have to pay child support if the child turns out to be yours. That is another avenue in establishing yourself as the legal father of the child.
So I looked that up. Yes, what she is saying is true. In the state of Tennessee, if a child is born to unmarried persons and there is no court order identifying a father, Tennessee law states that the mother automatically has both legal and physical custody rights, which let me say this. That makes sense when you think about it, because the kid's coming out of that person's vagina. So so that can be proven. But then the second part of that, right, is, let's say you don't do anything legal wise, you don't sign this VAP or anything like that. 7 years go down the line and y'all get mad at each other. She can take the kid and do whatever she wants, even if you are the parent. But if you've never established that, you now got to go through this whole big ass process just to be able to see your kid or have custody of your kid. That's crazy. That's crazy. Is Tennessee in the 1980s still? Because it sounds like it.
80s, like 20s. But I just don't get why men have to go through so many jump through so many hoops, burning hoops at that, just to see their child, if it is their child, or to find out if it's their child. It, so many hoops and hurdles. You got to run a damn race just for your child. Whereas if it's like you said, come out the woman's, we know it's the woman's, but like after that, nothing. It's hers, no questions asked, and she doesn't have to prove herself that that's the father.
Mm.
We're just gonna work for it,
That's
basically.
wild.
Now,
Mhm.
even after doing that, it still does not establish having any parenting time. It just says you are the legal father. Great. So the next thing that needs to happen is you need to get a parenting plan developed. And in order to do that, you either need to agree with the mother on what the parenting time looks like, or you need to go to court and have a judge decide of what the parenting time looks
Okay.
like. A parenting plan just lays out who has a child when and who is responsible for making decisions about the child. It can be agreed to by the parties, or it can be ordered by a court. So you can do it either way. There's not one that's better than the other. It just depends on what your certain circumstances are. Parenting plans are a whole nother thing, so I will go into that in a future TikTok about what to look for and pros and cons of doing different things in a parenting plan. So just keep your eyes open for that. Bottom line is you don't have to have a parenting plan. You can agree with mom on whatever you want for the time. But if you ever disagree about it and there is not a parenting plan, then you don't have any recourse, and she can basically tell you when you can and cannot see this child. So my recommendation is to always have one, even if you just use it as a fallback and as a worst case scenario. I hope this has helped you figure out a little bit more about parenting plans and parenting time. Follow me for more information on family law issues in Middle Tennessee.
Hey,
So backwards out there.
she's right. She's right. Sean, I found a resource. It's just a link. Be sure to include that link into the description for this video, because she's not wrong. And I think too many guys are going into things with a hope strategy, and then when stuff doesn't work out, realize legally how boned they are. Oh, love will carry us through. Blah, 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 blah. And then 7 years later, I hate your guts. And you know what? You can't see baby Tay Tay.
You ain't his daddy
You ain't
anyway.
his daddy anyway.
Mhm. Ooh.
Man, guys, wake up.
Him, bodies.
Men should wake up. But Sean, there's too many stories like this that's going out there, and it's not like this is a majority. Let's not pretend that we're up here saying that this is what the majority is. But even for it to be a minority, the impact is so huge that we need to make sure that we're talking about this stuff so that guys out there are armed with information.
Right. As the clip from Paternity Court said, 40%, which equals 1.57 billion men that this happens to.
Mhm.
That's a lot. There's what, 7 or 8 billion people on Earth? That's a
That's a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
Requiring paternity tests before you sign the birth certificate.
So it's starting in Tennessee, but I feel like this should be universal. The only people who would have a problem with this are people out there with the intent of swindling somebody. Like, why would you want to scam a man into taking care of a child that's not his? And that is not to say that biology is the only thing that makes you a parent, but if that child is not biologically his, then yes, he should have the right to say whether or not he wants to be in that child's life or
Deuces.
not. And taking care of it in the hospital before the birth certificate is signed saves people a lot of stress. Do you know how many people find out later on down the line, especially with these new genealogy tests, that their child that they have been raising for all these years is not there? Do you understand how that not only affects the father, but also the child? That causes so much psychological damage, and all of that can be avoided by doing this in the hospital. I don't see why anyone would have a problem with that unless, like I said, they know they out here doing dirt and they trying to scam this man. So I'm all for it. Do the paternity test in the hospital before the birth certificate is signed so that you know what you're getting into. If it's not his baby and he chooses to stay with you, then by all means, that's great. But he should have a right to say whether he wants to or not. I don't feel like men should be forced to pay child support for children that are not theirs. It doesn't make sense. But the laws that we have in place tend to favor the mother. That's just, it is what it is. And doing something like this prevents a lot of that. So, what do y'all think? Are
But
y'all
here's the
in
thing.
favor of paternity tests in the hospital, or do y'all think that they just doing too much?
For those of you who are in Tennessee, guess what? House Bill 20.
Here's the thing, though. The accountability, as we say, is like kryptonite to them. They don't want to be found out that they were doing
Mm.
dirt. They'll do everything, the wrong ones, the ones that know they're in the wrong. They'll do everything to not get caught. Because like I said, it doesn't benefit them when they get caught. It benefits them when they carry on the lie.
Yeah.
2689 is getting ready to pass. That is requiring paternity tests before you sign the birth certificate. Because when people do paternity tests, 1/3 of the time they end up not being the father, and if they start testing everybody, that number can only go up, not down. They're actually starting to jail time the ladies for maternity fraud because it is such a rampant crime.
As they
And
should.
yes, it's a crime.
Hallelujah. This needs to go nationwide, but at least it's the first step. Progress, not perfection. But in the meantime, I advise any male that I know to get yourself a DNA kit and swab that child's mouth, because you'd be surprised just how many of those kids belong to another man. Women do this all the time. I'm a woman. I hear what's going on. They'll usually attribute that child, even if that child is from someone else, they'll attribute that child to the best man. The man they feel has the most money or the best ability to be a father. Please, guys, get those babies swabbed.
Hold up.
She's right. You doing
Now, I
something?
was gonna have that pause for the transition.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, she's right. There's no way around it, but like I said, when these type of issues or problems have their government fingers in them, they're very difficult to resolve. So oh, go ahead,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say you're right because I can almost say with certainty that I'd probably say 3 out of 4, 75% of people have probably never read a bill in their life. And
Mhm.
what people don't understand is when l- legislators are looking at different laws and stuff to pass, they also do an assessment of the fiscal impact, meaning how much resources and money is
What's it
this
gonna
going
cost?
to affect with changing or adding
Mhm.
or amending something? And it would be prudent of them to do that, right? If you are a prudent person, you should understand the fiscal impact of the decisions that are being made. It may not be in
Right.
the state's best interest fiscally to make some changes because it could put certain funds in jeopardy. Now, if that's the case, legislators are now trying to balance how do we not lose these funds, but also do what's in the best interest of their people. And sometimes those two things aren't going to align properly. People need to understand that that's what legislators are doing all the time when they're figuring out the impact
Supposed
of
to be
these bills. Yeah, it's supposed to be doing. You're right. You're right. But people don't understand who they're voting into, what they're voting for. And look, there's a lot of complex issues and complex things, right? You're not going to get one candidate that's going to service everybody, or different candidates that's going to service
giggity,
everybody. But
giggity.
yeah, service. But uh, there are certain things that need reform, and establishing paternity at the beginning, especially when you look at how it is currently. The way that it is now, you should make it something that gets done automatically. I don't think it should fall on the state. It should the test should fall on the parties involved. And and in my opinion, right, that also is one of those things that, because I think people are having sex as a result, having children, not understanding the fiscal impact of what that's going to cause them from conception to when that kid's 18 and and beyond, because supporting a life doesn't just end at 18.
Right. So I just wanna bring up a quick update on this House
Mhm.
bill. So it didn't pass. Right now, apparently it's in some sort of, limbo, embargo. They say it basically died on the floor. I did a little bit of digging as well. So basically, it's saying, did HB 2698 pass into law? No. The bill was filed at the beginning of the 2022 legislative session and passed through one subcommittee before being deferred and placed on Civil Justice Committee's calendar 3 times. Ultimately, the bill was deferred to summer study where it died. Now, I don't know much about bills, legislative jargon, and how things specifically work. I know a little bit of the song from Schoolhouse Rock,
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
but a little bit of more digging on this. So we can actually see the schedule, or a part of the schedule rather. And this is basically how they worded the bill. So, HB 2698, paternity as introduced clarifies that a party to a civil or criminal proceeding in which the paternity of a child is at issue may voluntarily seek a genetic test from an accredited laboratory before a court issues an order requiring the genetic test. Um, so we see the dates of what happened here. So I didn't get all of it; just got the most recent stuff. So it was placed on SC Cal Children and Family Affairs on 3/9, then on 3/16. I guess request for pass if AM by I don't know what these. I'm an IT guy. Sorry guys, I don't know legal jargon. um, and then again on 3/16, placed on Cal Civil Justice Committee, whatever. And then all the way up to 4/6, so about little over a year ago, deferred to summer study in Civil Justice Committee. So we can see both from the House and the Senate that they're saying yes. The A's are 9. A's mean yes, and no's mean no. And over here we have the vote A's prevail. So, and then A's prevail again under House and Children and Family Affairs Subcommittee. Everyone was saying yes to this. So the question is, why did this bill die on the floor, basically? If everyone said, yeah, we need to do this almost unanimously, pretty much. Even though HB 2698 seems to have died on the floor, they have this other one, this HB 253. Basically, it's a similar bill under the 113th Tennessee General Assembly, was signed into law by Governor Bill Lee on April 24th. The law says that anyone who establishes a person as the biological parent of a child with intent to deprive the actual biological parent from their parental rights is guilty of a crime. The law makes this specific form of fraud a Class B misdemeanor. Personally, I think it should be a bit higher than a misdemeanor. I think it should be a felony, because depriving someone the right to their child to be in their life, I think that should be a felony, not a misdemeanor. I think they're still going easy on the ladies that do this kind of stuff.
Wow. All right. Dude, we bring the receipts over here, right? Sean's over there showing some stuff. We also got it right here. This is the bill itself. Cause that's what we do over here. We don't just talk about it, we provide the receipts. And that's the one that he
That's right.
recently just showed. This was the Senate bill that was enacted, and this is when it was passed and the date that it was approved. So, boom. Hey, TDG over here teaching these fools.
Taking a church
man.
or taking a class.
This was a good topic. I appreciate the compilation that you put together.
Yeah, no worries. It was fun putting together because, this is something that hopefully will affect all of us, and it'll be a positive effect on everyone, not just the men, but also the women. Because I believe in the nuclear family, a mother, a father, children, and maybe even a dog. But they should all. But the thing is, a family should be a family, or be at least be allowed to be a family, and it shouldn't be on the decision of the government, and it shouldn't be a decision of just one parent. It needs to be a joint
I
decision.
agree.
King, you got anything else for
No, man. This was good, man. This was excellent. I actually learned some things myself, so you rock.
All right. Hope y'all learned something as well. So also don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're going to come at you guys with some more content here soon. When I put some more stuff together, I'm on, workout here in Boston. But yeah, that's not going to stop us. So make sure you guys stay tuned, and we are out.
Peace.
Let's get it. Shake it like understand who I is. Not that many gon' do it like this. Bob your head, we can hear my shit, but I'm on my shit. I ain't has no chill. I'm who I are, I'm who I is. Taylor Susan, I play the part. Funkify, how you mesmerize. Black Austin Pies, man, that I'm stupid. Then again, oh so clever. On my loony, pour that lever. Talk my shit, I'm talking hella.